Welcome to Tasty Tuesdays. I'm Lorene Hughes, your host from Crafting Possibilities. Thank you so much for being with us. And tonight we have a very special guest all the way from Ohio in the US of A, Anney Lee. Hello, darling. How are you?
I was good until I saw that little video, and it is something to see it written out that way. I am absolutely amazed. I'm good because that's a whole lot of oh wow. Thank you for that beautiful display. That's gorgeous.
You're so welcome, darling. I knew you. I was watching you and I was just like, whoa, she's going to be overwhelmed with just the magic of it, the magic of the show, the magic of the production. I was like, yeah, I just sort of give you a couple of moments to gather yourself.
International.
Yeah.
Oh, it's one thing to think it and know that the things are out there, and it is different for me to see it. It's almost like going to Broadway or somewhere spectacular where there's just light that you see. That's what that was like. It was so wow. That's the word I have for it right now is wow.
You're so welcome. It was absolutely my pleasure to be able to gift that to you. That's why it's so important to me to have those images and things through, because it's like I wish to give everybody that gift.
Oh, and it's beautiful. I am so grateful. Oh my gosh. Woo. Yes, yeah. So what's up? What's up?
So let me introduce beautiful Anney. She is all of those things. And I just need to bring it up just quickly so that I can make sure I get all my words correct, because do you know what? You're just bloody amazing.
Oh, shoot.
So the beautiful Anney Lee. She is a nature lover, an artistic photographer, mama, hairdresser, artist, root worker, and a dancing delight. And recently self-published author, a smidge of a jack of all trades. We both speak the language there, definitely. You speak to my heart. Mm-hmm. And throughout this lifetime, Anney knew that she was different from other folks, seeing and hearing things others couldn't, and somehow just knew things. As Anney progressed through life, those connections just became stronger and stronger, and now Anney is white lighting the very existence of humanity. Ha ha ha.
Shouldn't this be like a comic book or something? Shouldn't there be like this sounds so grand. Are we sure we're talking about me sitting here right now, us doing this? Are we sure we're doing this?
That's why you're here, love.
This is amazing. It really is. I'm gonna Cheshire Cat it here in a minute and not be able to stop grinning.
And to be honest, in these shows, I am honestly I feel so privileged to have incredible guests like yourself on here chatting to us and enjoying space with us and inspiring this community, this conscious community that we're all in, so that they can know that their unique experiences, well, what they think is unique may not be quite so unique, and that, others do experience consciousness and the consciousness journey in really different ways. Yeah. And sometimes we do have similarities, and there's a lot of people opening up at the moment. I'm going to put that because I don't really like that whole awakening thing. There's this opening up that's happening, and it's happening more and more frequently right now, and it is so wonderful, but it's super scary often for the people who are going through that process. And because I know for me, I felt like I was absolutely going bonkers for a while there. And if I didn't have some very aware people around me that sort of gently nurtured me into the direction that I am today, I don't know where I would have gone. Do you know what I
Yes.
mean?
Oh, absolutely. Vicky, she is one who helped keep me from flying into the nether region. No joke, because I
Yeah.
had no clue what was happening. I didn't know, I had seen so many things and read so many things about, the great remembering and awakening and all of these things. And I thought, well, I've been awake. What do you mean? I don't understand. Is there more? Oh Lord, is there ever more? And evermore. Anyway, so I thought that, what? Oh my gosh, this TV, I'm totally losing, I'm losing it here. What is going on? And they said, no, honey, this is what's happening. And I said, oh, why don't people talk about this part?
Well, and
Seriously.
that's what this show is about. Show is about opening up and highlighting those areas that can be a bit tough, and those areas that perhaps we don't necessarily hear about from other people. So the juicier the stories, the better it is.
Got some humdingers, let me tell you. I'm not joking. Like, from the point of laying on my living room floor thinking that I was literally going to expire that night, I really thought I thought I was an honor. And I told Creator, I said, look, if you're gonna take me, just let me get comfortable. Let me lay down here with my dog and just take me, because that's what I felt like at that point. And my my ex now is, is still is trying to wrap his head around what is going on, what is all of this transition. And in those moments when nobody knew what the hell was going on, not like we understand now, he's coming out and there was this whole big crowd, and I said, I'm dying here. My soul's dying. Can you just, whatever it was that I needed to do, because I think the laptop was stuck on something, and, do you see this? And I am having a fucking meltdown, all right? I don't know what is happening. I'm trying to figure it out and still keep peace, and I can't even keep peace in here at the moment. How am I supposed to tell you what's going on? I'm dying here, was my reply. To which he just looked and was like, what the? I know, I don't know, I know. Why don't people tell us this? Because they don't want to look like they're crazy.
Yeah.
They don't want to say the things because, Lord have mercy, they'll put me in a straitjacket and take me to the funny farm. Well, if we don't talk about these things, then we may end up there anyways, because we think we've totally gone batshit, and we're not one bit.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. There's so much knowledge which is of the spirit progression, the consciousness journey, that is now bubbling out all over the place, and it's so exciting. It's so exciting.
Gosh. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah. And like, for so long we have been living under this umbrella of, do not say anything. It even starts back when we're little kids.
Yes.
Children are seen and not heard. Not so much these days, because
right.
Our generations have changed that, thank you.
Yes.
Even though that can be very challenging for some parents, because of course now they've got these primary school and high school kids that won't shut up. But the gift of that is so huge, because they're not going to have to deal with a tenth of the issues that we've had around having to try and speak up, to try and honor ourselves, to be able to say what we desire and require to be healthy, happy beings. They're not going to have nearly as much of that, which is
hallelujah,
wonderful. It's like, yay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my goodness. Oh, yes.
So you sort of touched on our first question of how did you begin on your spiritual journey? And was there a particular moment that sort of led up to you lying on the floor there, or?
It was, let's see, it was July. It's been almost 2 years ago now. And I kept, I get the ringing in the ear, right? When messages come through, and it had gotten kind of intense, and I thought it was different, didn't think anything about it. I need to preface this with a few years ago when my son, now listen, I know that Creator doesn't make deals. Okay, that's not how this works. None of this. We can say, I will do ever what if you give me this, if this works out this way. I know that that's not how I know. But at that time, when my son was correct, I asked Creator, I said, I will do whatever it is you need me to do. Please, 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 just let my son stay. July, almost 2 years ago, I had started to stand up for myself. In the relationship I was in, uh, I wasn't allowing the treatment anymore. I wouldn't be talked to the way I was talked to. I wouldn't, these things. All right. I started to stand firm in the boundaries I had set because I knew that that's not what was supposed to be going on. And if you don't stand up for yourself, it's not going to get any better. So as I'm standing in this, and I'm doing my best to just not totally lose it, I hear it's time to hold your promise. Whoa. What promise? I've made a lot of them. Which one? Can we be specific here? And I got flashed back to the hospital. Oh, dang, this is a big one. Okay. And I said, well, here I am. I am the best that's ready to do. Creator, guide me. Show me what I need to do. And from there, can I just say, it was like somebody opened Hoover Dam and the waters went. And that led to, like, I kind of zoned out. I went on what I call divine autopilot. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I went on a Moses walk. A Moses walk. This is, it was some folks, depending on which tradition you follow, okay? Some folks call it a witch walk, some people call it blood walking. I was walking back through my ancestry.
Right.
And it
Okay,
took me
cool.
clear back, okay? So as I am walking through the footsteps of my everybody, it took me all over the place. And I ended up walking with my staff, and I was barefoot. I'm walking down the road barefoot. It was so strange what was going on. And I said to Creator, look, just make sure that I'm safe. I don't care what I have to do. I will do whatever is asked of me. And that led to more progressions, which led to being shown more keys, which opened more doorways, which opened so many things. And it's just been a snowball of progression since then. What led to laying on the floor, feeling like I was going to die, it was breaking those bonds, those ties that I never should have allowed to begin with. But because I did, I had to struggle that much further to shake that stuff loose. And as I am shaking it off, here's the thing on my TikTok. I don't know if you guys TikTok me, but there I actually had to record. I don't record stuff like this because I think it is very personal. And who the hell needs to see anybody losing their mind on the floor or dancing off and trying to shake this stuff loose? What? It was very important. I've had to go back to this video. And what I saw happening now when I look at it, it's like, oh my gosh, I was watching the pieces of me fall away that
Yeah.
had been wanting to go for a very long time. And when you start to stand in the knowing and the remembrance of just exactly who you are, who we are, where we come from, Lord, 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 that is, the word awesome is so overused. Because like to grasp the meaning of the word awesome, I didn't truly understand it until August a couple years ago, when I was
Yeah.
standing in the wide-eyed wonder of stepping into a dragon body and so many other things. Oh, Lord, girl, stories. Do I ever have stories? Like to embody a whole dragon. Do you know how big a damn dragon is? Are you kidding me?
Mhm.
I am 5'4" and maybe 110 pounds. Are you kidding me? What? Stories. Girl, I've got stories. Anyway, so yeah, it was very eye-opening
Yeah.
to be laying there on the floor thinking I was going to croak. Because all I could think was, did I do everything to the best of my ability? Did I love my children like I should have, could have? Did I do the best for my parents that I should have, could have? All
Mm.
these things, so many things went through my brain, and I thought, oh, okay, here comes my heart, and it's catching up. And I just bawled, I was like, oh, Lord. And it's just progressed, and things have just gotten more open and more amazing. That's,
Mm. Mm.
life really is good. Geez, no matter what happens, life really is good.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I know some people will see my reactions as you're talking with me, and they'll go, "Why is she laughing? Why is she finding it funny that she's on the
Dude,
floor?" It's like,
because
well,
when you know, you know.
exactly. It's like
Yeah.
that bit leading up to, yeah, absolutely. That's fucking serious, mate. Because
Yeah.
it is that part that level of toxicity and abuse and the trauma and the pain that we've put this gorgeous vessel through, and that process of actually getting to a point where you're really truly acknowledging that, like, that's fucking serious shit. But when we actually start onto our spiritual journey, it is just as rough sometimes, but it's so much better.
I know. It's I think a lot of people, because I felt like such a hypocrite at times because of how I was raised and what I knew to be true from what we were spoon fed all the time, to what I knew in my heart was right, to what I discovered through the journey was actually correct and true, just and right. Oh my gosh, okay. And I thought, oh, humans, as humans, we feel conflicted.
Yeah.
Because if I step into this knowing, if I step into remembering who I am and where I came from and all of these gifts that I've been bestowed, well, I'm going to be called all kinds of names. I'm I'm a witch. Well, call me what you want. I don't care. That's where I've gotten with it. I don't care.
No.
There are medicines that I can use from right outside my door. There are, nature is it. That's it. There's it, and that's where I'm at. And call me what you want. Don't matter to me anymore. I don't care. There is just too much, too much. Oh my gosh, out here for us to deny any of it. I say that only to say this. Be open to the possibility.
Yeah.
Be open to possibility. If you do anything else for yourselves, anyone who is watching this, who may watch it later, please, please, please give yourself that much. Be open to the possibility.
Yeah.
What we think we know is not set in stone.
Nope.
I learned that I was not as coachable as I thought I was. I wasn't as open to, hey, have you ever thought about? Well, yeah, I've thought about all kinds of things, but this is what I know. So how are you going to tell me that this is different? What? How am I supposed to? This can't be right because this is what I was taught. Well, what if? There's that possibility.
Yeah.
What if I had to really allow the possibility? So
Oh,
just be open.
absolutely.
Yep, just
Yes,
be
yes, I
open.
completely agree. It was like part of my journey of comprehending that I was so aware of other people's stuff that one day I was sitting, it's going to be a bit of a TMI moment. That's nothing unusual for me. But I was sitting on the loo and I had my period and I had period pain. And when I was young, like when I was in my teens, I used to get it so bad. I was an early starter. I started in primary school, and I used to get the period pain so bad it would mess with my vision. I would find it difficult to walk straight to the toilet and stuff like that. So, and it would just lay me up in bed for 24 hours or so. And my mum found that difficult to comprehend because she's never dealt with period pain, but she's also not as aware as I am. And it wasn't till probably about, what would it be, 5, 6 years ago that, and then I've, been through various journeys and I was on the pill and which obviously numbed me out to the spirit entity and energies, my empathic abilities. But they don't tell you that on the packaging.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
I had been off the pill pretty much most of the time that I've been in Australia. So for the last, say, 13 years, I've not been on the pill at all. And that was obviously when my spiritual journey really ramped up as well. So it was all kind of worked in together. And I was sitting on the loo this day and I went, hang on a minute. I haven't had this level of pain in quite some time. Truth, does it even belong to me?
There you
and
go.
All of a sudden, it lifted because it was not mine. And so I was like, all right, well, I return that all to senders with consciousness attached. Whoosh. And my period pain disappeared instantly. And all of a sudden I was just like, oh. And then I started doing that reflecting of going, all the times throughout my life where I've had that level of pain, how often was I picking up on everybody else's stuff? All the other women in the world who were, or in my town or city or country or whatever, my capacities can vary, that are struggling with intimacy, that was struggling being a woman, that was struggling with getting pregnant, that was struggling with, and all of that, all the relationship stuff and all that being locked into their bodies, that was all, I was able to feel it all. And it was coming through to me as pain. And as soon as I let it all go, it was like, thank goodness, be open to the possibilities that
absolutely
the stuff you're feeling is not yours.
Another thing that I've realized through this is as we heal ourselves, things will come up like you were just talking about, but sometimes it is in our lineage, wherever that may be, and as we heal that in ourselves, that heals it clear back and clear forward. And it's amazing what happens when we start to let go of things that are not ours to carry.
That's right.
It is beautiful. It really is.
I 100% agree. So with your journey that you've had, and I know it's been a very intense couple of years, I'm curious, what does consciousness mean to you at the moment?
Oh my goodness. This one's loaded. It is being aware. To me, consciousness at any time is the awareness of what is going on. Are we keen to the fact that these things happen? Do we notice them? When we do notice them, do we acknowledge them or do we dismiss it?
Mm-hmm.
Our consciousness, to me, is our awareness and where we move with it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Once you know, you can't unknow. There is no closing that door. You can, here's an even more fun thing. You can slam that door shut. You can nail that fucker closed. It doesn't matter. It's going to go boop and pop back open because it's already
Mm-hmm.
open. You cannot close that door. So, once you're
You may as
aware
well
of
get
this,
used to it.
you may as well just figure out how to deal with the draft that's blowing in that door that's going to push you through the hallway to the next doorway. Find you some roller skates and a sail, baby, because it's a ride. It is a ride.
Yeah.
It is a whole ride. Ah, there is not an amusement park in the world that can touch this.
That's so true. Yeah.
There's just not. Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I totally agree. I remember there was a time, probably about 7-ish years ago, where I was driving away from my partner at the time's house. I knew the relationship was done. And I can still to this day remember driving down that road going, right, I have a choice in this moment. I can either go back to the life that I had before or not.
Yes.
And I just went, I can't unknow what I know.
Yes.
I cannot unknow that.
Yep.
So there is no way for me to get back to the old life. Those bridges are well and truly burned. They're gone. They're smashed to smithereens. So the only choice is for me to move forward. And
Yep.
whatever that looks like is whatever that looks like. So I guess I got to strap those big girl boots on and make some choices.
Yes. Oh, my God. I'm telling you what. Grab a shovel and a rake and a boat oar and I don't know what else. You may as well pack you a go bag and just go. Lord knows. We don't know. Here is one of the funniest things I have discovered is you can prepare. You can be as prepared as you're okay. Nothing can prepare you for some of the stuff that is going to happen. You can hear stories. You can watch videos. You can read a book. You can listen to a guru from 3,200 years ago. It does not prepare you for the experience that you're probably going to have. It is so much fun and so mind-boggling all at the same time that all of these things are happening. And then it's like, okay, where do I go from here? La, 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 as you just try to figure it out. And it's like, okay, well, I'm still here. I'm still breathing. So I've done something correctly. I have a lot more channels open now, which is strange and very cool all of the time. I wouldn't trade where I am right now for anything. I really wouldn't. I would do all of it again if I had to be where I am right now. And yeah, that's that. I wouldn't change a thing. Well, yeah, maybe I would learn lessons quicker. Maybe so I wouldn't have to choke on that one. Seriously.
Yeah, there's a couple of things I might have sped up a bit.
Okay, then. We might have just went, we might have hit like this. We might have been doing a podcast like 4 years ago instead of like right now. But, whatever. Here we are. It's all worked out. Divine timing. We've got this. We've totally got this. It has been an absolute huge. One of, real quick before we get to, I don't know what is next, but I mean, I read through the questions. Look, I know you sent me that cute little write up, and y'all, Lorene, she's amazing. She has gone through so much to put this together. Sends out these cool little here. This is what we need, and this is what we're gonna do. And I am totally just like, sad. quick story, real quick. So I'm sitting at the table. This is before all hell finally broke loose, and I was getting ready to leave. And I'm sitting there, and the Mongols had been coming through, okay, dragons, Mongols, and I'm laughing because there's a samurai that was wanting to make himself known. At that same time, over on the laptop, there was a video. The band is called the Hu or the Who. I don't know how to pronounce it. HQ.
Oh
But
yeah,
they're
you.
yeah. Oh my gosh, I love them. So one of the videos, there's like a battle scene, right? And I'm sitting there and I'm just writing out light language. It's just flowing, the pen's just like it should have been fire on paper, buddy. And I feel this, ugh, and I thought, what in the world? And my head gets like pushed this way over to the laptop, and I felt like I wanted to get up and fight. The samurai thought that this was real, that there were people fighting in the kitchen, and that we're going to fight, okay? I mean, this is what it was like, and I was like, whoa! And after the heat cooled down, okay, because I was a raging ball of fire at that point, because this energy is intense. I said, no, 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 no. I said, this is a television. He doesn't understand television,
No.
okay? And I'm like, dude, hang on, chill. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I said, what word can I use that you're going to understand? Entertainment. This is a show. And so finally we finally got the point across, right? But just to have that energy go,
Yeah.
like, gotta fight. And I thought, is this going to happen all the time now? That was one of the things that I thought, oh, that takes a little bit of getting used to,
Yeah.
having everybody come in the way they do. It's like, ooh, ooh, ooh. That was interesting, though. Very interesting. I've never felt like I wanted to get up and punch a laptop ever in my life until that moment.
How dare you, laptop, be in my space?
I know,
pretending to have a fight.
Oh my gosh, and that's what it was like. I mean, I felt like I wanted to draw my sword and just come out like I was ready. What in the world is going on? And I just sat and laughed. I couldn't help myself. I thought, boy, this is going to be a laugh riot, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
been a hoot. It really has been an absolute hoot.
Oh, I absolutely agree. These, like, you and I could probably sit, between you, me and Vicky, we could probably sit for hours just sharing stories,
Can we, how much time do you have? I mean, really, we've got... Oh.
I know. I may do a Halloween special and just bring different people through for Halloween. And we can share ghost stories.
I'm signing up for that right now. Right now. You put me down for that. I am all over it. Let's do that. Oh, how fun. Shoot, by Halloween, I may be able to come over and sit with you in person. Wow,
cool that'd be awesome. That would be so cool.
Oh.
So I'm curious, apart from that yummy story, I mean, wow, that's really cool. What other what's sort of like that most tastiest moment of your consciousness journey so far?
Oh, Lord. Oh, there's so many. How do you even choose? I would have to say, oh, dang, I don't know. Because there really are so many. Yeah, the samurai was definitely a humding. Probably, I guess when full on contact was made with the dragon, that was probably one of the most bell ringing. There's actually, I have a YouTube video. I need to figure out how to sync it to the music that was in my headphones that I thought everybody could hear while I was dancing around the fire pit that nobody else could hear but me. That's how engrossed I was in what was happening. But there was a whole dance for the dragon, and to the point of I thought I was going to vibrate apart and come back together, almost like, I don't know, it's like there were dolls used to be that you could take their arms and pull them out and put them back, and their legs, you could do the same thing. And that's what I felt like.
Mm-hmm.
And it was right after that I felt like a whole dragon from the inside out.
Wow.
And it really felt like, if you've ever watched like a cicada or anything like that molt, how they come out of
Mm-hmm.
and they're just like, whoa. That's what it was like happening, but from the inside out. Like I was blossoming into this great big ass dragon, and I thought, what is going on? And it was harder than hard to actually walk for about 2 days as my body adjusted to what was happening. And I thought,
Wow.
what is going on? Please somebody explain this to me. And then I had the Pleiadians came in and offered
Mm-hmm.
help, and Arcturians came in. Next was the Lyrans, and I mean everybody came to help because it was that big of a deal. And I thought, oh my
Yeah.
God, because I mean, it's a tiny body for one. It's a tiny body. Look, like I'm talking about me like I'm not me. I'll explain why I do that in just a second, because people are going to look at this and go, what does she mean, tiny body? What? Yeah, the whole dragon deal. That was probably
Mm.
the most interesting, and still the one that blows my mind the most of
Yeah.
everything that I've had, and everyone that I have met, and all the different fractal pieces of me that have come back together.
Mm-hmm.
We don't realize just how fragmented we are until we really start to pull ourselves back together. And
Absolutely.
I don't know what it's called. I can't remember what it's called, but as in Japan, they have where they put things back together. They steam it together with gold.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yes.
Mm.
See, and I can't remember what it's called. So there is that, and that's what I feel like now. As all of my pieces are coming back together, I've been beautifully put back together with gold steams, and it's fascinating to me. Absolutely
Kintsugi.
fascinating. There you go.
I knew it was going to bother me if I didn't know.
Yay!
It's one of those words that kind of just floats in and floats out of my head.
I see it, and then I'm like, yeah, I remember. No, I don't. No, I
No.
don't. I have no idea. No idea. Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it. So, that experience with the dragon, like, I can relate in some ways to that, and not directly with the dragon, but I have the fairy energy, and
Yes, you do.
the fairy the fairy energy came through very dynamically for me during a healing session. And as you know, when you're in a healing session, or I assume for me, like, my stuff, everything to do with me gets pushed to the side. And it's like I become the blueprint. My body is the blueprint for the person I'm working on, except for when I'm actually physically, energetically going in through their body and doing like scans and stuff and fixing and removing stuff. But it's like I become the blueprint. So whatever ache, whatever pain, whatever it is, I feel it in my body so that then I know where to go.
Yes.
And this particular day, there was this itch that was between my shoulders. And I was like, that's a funny place for an itch. Like, I've got signs for other things, whether I'm aware of demons or entities or other things. And this particular one was just in a really different spot. And I was like, what the hell? And then I was like, truth, is this his? Like, I was working with a male client at the time. And it was like my team said, and actually his team said, no. And I went, but it can't be mine. They said, but it is. And I was like, okay, well, whatever this is, can you please show me? And next thing you know, my wings came out, all the way, and they touched from side to side of the room. And it wasn't this room, it was the previous room I used to be in. And I was like sitting there, my eyes are open, I'm looking at these wings going, what the fuck?
Yes.
And they were gorgeous. They're beautiful. They're like opalescent. They're just absolutely fucking stunning.
Yes.
And I'm like, all right, well, that's different. And so then I was like, okay, well, what can we do with these things? And so I then used them to go through this gentleman's chakra points and just give them a bit of a tune up and see what was going on there, and just realigning them, making them hum, and having their own tones again. And it was all just coming through my wings, and I was just sitting there at his head just doing what I was doing it previously. And it was so funny. I couldn't tell anybody. I told not a soul for an entire 2.5 days about this, because I was just like, I can hardly comprehend it myself. What just happened. And I certainly didn't say anything to him. And the funny thing is, like, this particular client had been a fairly regular client. He'd been sort of every couple of months for a year. And after that session, he didn't come back for another 12 months. And I was just like, whoa, we really shifted something that day.
Yes. Oh, gosh, I'm one great big truth bomb. Yes. Ooh. Oh.
So, it's just about being really super open to the possibilities. And it's funny because when we do this tool called light and heavy. So what's true for you will always make you feel lighter, and what's not true for you will always make you feel heavy and contracted, right?
Yes.
And for so long, we've been taught to do the opposite.
Yes.
But anyway, so when you get that rearranged back the other way, and then it was like, but my truth was always in the tips of my ears up here above my ear, just there. And I always get like these warm tingles, and when I'm doing a truth, my ear will actually move. I can't do that cognitively. I can't sit there and go and make my ears move. They won't move. But when I'm asking questions, awareness questions, they will, and they'll tingle up here. And it wasn't till I sort of put a few bits and pieces together, I went, hello, fairy ears, hello.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It is so fun to figure out, because we have so many different pieces of ourselves, all these different fractals, and when they start to come back together and you realize just everything that you embody, all that you are, I've met and have reintegrated so many of my pieces that I think, whoa. And to look at me now as opposed to when I was, like, or where I was and how I was even a year ago, is like, ooh. And each new integration has a new tail point. That's what I call it, a tail point. And whether it's my ears or the small of my back, between my shoulder blades, everywhere it is, it's like, oh, okay, this is who's here now. And, I've become more accustomed to, well, didn't really have a choice. Either get accustomed to it or be annoyed by it. What are you going to do? So you figure out where these points are, what is happening. And it's like, oh, okay, these are here. We are here.
Yeah.
They are here. And it did get easier, but it was so strange. So strange.
Oh,
how you put all those puzzle pieces together, and it's like, oh, okay, got it. I'm a whole lot cooler than I was ever led to believe I was. Yay, team.
It's like I used to say, I didn't say it. I used to think I wasn't funny. I didn't think I could hold a joke. I didn't think I could tell a funny story. I had no way to communicate that level of humor. But the problem was, it wasn't me that wasn't funny. It was my audience was the wrong audience.
All right, say it again for the folks in the back. Come on now.
Sorry, my audience was the wrong audience.
There you go. Yes.
So I changed my audience, and suddenly people think I'm bloody hilarious, and I'm like, oh.
Oh my gosh. See, now it's funny you say that. I have always wanted to be a stand-up comedian, even if it was just to go and one time try it out. I have wanted to do that so much lately. And I think I'm actually going to be brave enough to try it this year.
Yes, do it. Do it. Do it open mic where, oh, that'd be fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
I think that would be amazing.
It would be a hoot. I would love to find some place to do it and then to find my brave for that moment. Because
yeah.
One of the things, it's funny because it took until not that long ago. Because this isn't the best looking mug right here. I mean, we're missing half our teeth. Like that. I know that I'm pretty from the inside out. That's just the way it works. I'm not being conceited. It has taken a long time to even let those words remotely come to my mouth, let alone come out of it. Here's the thing. Beauty might be skin deep, but ugly will cut right to the bone.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not ugly.
That's right.
It took a long time to figure that out. And the brave through all of that, it took a long time to get to where I am now. What I want most for people is to understand that they are more. Folks, listen, you are more than what they ever said you could be. Find your brave. Be open, and enjoy your life, which not what they said you should. Sorry, I'm not sorry.
No, that's perfect.
That's for some reason perfect. It had to be said right there, so there it is, and I'm done. I will get off my soapbox now.
No, I love soapboxes.
Oh my gosh,
they smell great.
Do you know? I try not to stand on them too much because sucker's gonna buckle and I'm gonna fall on my arse. But so I don't get on them too often. But you like my little Irish? It just came right out there for some reason. Fall on me arse. What in the world?
Yeah, that'd be me.
Oh,
I say arse.
Do you see? Oh my
spell
gosh.
It ARSE.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never spell it ASS. It's always ARSE. So there we go.
Oh my gosh. When I did the title for the second, I've read your book before. And the title of it is Random Ass Poems, and it started out as Random Arse. And I fixed it because I was like, what? Wait a minute. I didn't write that. So I backed it up and I'm typing it in there, and I kept hearing every time I read it or I think about it, I hear arse. I don't hear ass, I hear arse. Okay. Maybe I should have just left it that way. That is so funny.
Oh dear, we've got a couple of viewers that are just doing some nice little chitty chat in the chat for us, which is really cool. And Judy says it's arse in Australia, so
okay, well, all right.
I've heard both here. So
well, my Irish, my Scottish and my Irish folks, because I'm big Irish before anything else, at least in this existence. And they come through, boy, some sass pots. My Irish family is. Ooh, dang. And arse is like one of the big. I'm like, oh yeah. I got it. Oh my gosh, it's a hoot. It really is. Oh.
Yep, you and me both.
It's so fun.
Like my heritage is English, Irish, Scottish, Dutch, with a teeny tiny little smidgen of Italian in there. So I used to say, I just want to get drunk all the time and never want to pay for it. See, I'm funny. Unfortunately, I'm bucking my heritage because I now no longer drink.
Okay, I can wholeheartedly
I
feel
no
that.
longer drink except for water and
Yeah.
coffee
Yeah.
and tea, and but I don't drink alcohol. And yeah, I'm actually very generous with my funds, so probably more than I should be. So I'm bucking the system. I'm
There
being a
you go.
rebel.
Oh, that's too funny.
So you
Oh,
mentioned just briefly before that you have created a poetry book, but I would like to talk about this little creation.
that. Oh, this book, The Adventures of Emmy Lou, or with, it's with, Adventures with Emmy Lou and Grace Canoe. Emmy Lou, the character, finally made her whole appearance. This is where doing the work for ourselves comes into play. There was something that had happened when I was 17 years old. I was in a canoe and
Mm-hmm.
it flipped over and I was held under and I thought I was going to drown. I did not forgive the whole situation for many, many years. When I finally did, it was just a year, just over a year ago. And when I finally forgave myself for feeling the way I did about the canoe and that fear, that's when Emmy Lou made her appearance. I'm here now and ready to play.
Wow.
I've been here always and ready to play. Are you ready to write the stories for me? And that's how Emmy Lou came about. And Emmy Lou couldn't adventure on her own, even though she is quite capable. Okay, this little character would be quite capable of venturing on her own with no problems whatsoever. But
Yes,
adventures
she's
are
very
usually,
independent.
ooh, Emmy Lou is a little, yes, she is. What's fun is Emmy Lou and I are a good bit alike. And that makes it even more fun writing these because I can write it from what I know, from what I know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going
Yeah,
to leave
the
it at that.
energy that you be. Yeah,
And,
exactly.
you know, so it is a series. It is going to be a series. I'm working on the second book now. But this very first one, they have been, little spoiler, they're given this magnificent key and they get to go find this special canoe.
Mm-hmm.
And that leads to all the other adventures. They had to find the
Yeah.
canoe first to get to all the other ones, but there's, oh, look at, look at you. Ah, and there it is. Yes, that's it. That was just after little Miss Grace said, boy, it sure didn't look like much to me. Yeah,
Because we won't
it's all
spoil
about
the story
perception.
too much, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I won't tell anymore because I could totally I could just tell you the whole story. Can I just tell you the story? No, I won't. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
But I
It's
can tell everybody you can get it on Kindle. I got it on Kindle, so I have it on my happy little phone. And I was so thrilled to be able to do that for you, Anney, because it truly is the sweetest little story. And I'll be so excited to get the next ones. I don't have kids or anything, but these sorts of stories are just, they speak to my heart in a way that, a lot of other things don't.
I
And there's just something when we create from the heart, when we do and connect with people from a heart-centered space,
yes.
it feels so different. And it's like I wouldn't there's so many things that I would have in my home and in my life if I could, because I have got so many incredible, creative, gorgeous people in my world that create just like you have with Emmy. And it's just, and it would just made me feel so happy to be able to contribute to you, to let you know that, you know, yes, you are appreciated, and yes, your creations are appreciated. And I'm so grateful that you have had the courage and been brave and put your work out there for people to see, because it is a very, very vulnerable moment to do that. And
go
go.
No. You know, you go. No, you go.
No, I'm on a roll. So away you go. I'll get off my soapbox now.
Hey, that's all right. That's all right. I'm enjoying that fresh, clean scent. It's beautiful. So about the book, when I wrote it, it was simply to prove to myself that I could do it.
Yeah.
It was for no other reason than that. You know, so if folks decide that they want to do something, they want to write that song, or they want to write that poem, or they want to sew new clothes because they can, they want to upcycle or recycle what they have, or if they, whatever it is, do it. Do it, damn it. Do it. Do it. Do it. If for no other reason than for yourself. It doesn't have to be for anybody else. Just to know that you can do it. We get told so often growing up that we can't, we aren't, we don't, we blah, 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 okay? All of these things that it's just the horse shit. Point blank period. It's just horse shit. And when we can get through that and we can get to the point where I'm going to do this for myself, even if it doesn't make a damn bit of difference to anybody else, it's going to make a world of difference to me. And when I did this book, I thought, I'm not going to do this. I wrote it, I set it aside, and it was talk, and it was a lot of things, but I didn't see it come to fruition. And finally, I got brave, and I shut up the noise so I could hear the voice.
Yeah.
You can do this. You've always been able to do this. Right now, you are the only one stopping you, not anyone else. That, when I said that to me, that's what really kicked my butt here, because I was the one stopping myself. It wasn't anybody else at that point. I had to take the next step. I had to do it. And then Anney Lee was published, and now here we are. And I never expected to sell copies. I never expected any of this. It was simply just to show myself that I could, that I knew I could if I would just follow through. And the follow through, oh my God, it's like bowling. If you don't have follow through, it's not good. You have to have the follow through. So I followed through, and here we are, and everything is just blessings above and beyond what I ever expected. And when we allow ourselves to be ourselves and embrace our whole selves, we really will see a lot of things open up for us. It's just how it works.
It is indeed.
It is. Indeed. It really is.
Yeah. And that's, I love that you've just touched on that, because there's an element of when you're in alignment and your parts and pieces are coming together and you've gold glued them back together.
Yes.
And coyotes, oh shoot. What was that again?
I don't know, because as fast as you said it, and
Kintsugi. There we go.
This is going to be a word that I'm going to plaster in a couple different places so I remember what the term is, instead of saying, that gold mending thing.
I'll type it to you later. And, things just happen so fast, and they come into your world, and it's like you think it, and then next thing you know, poof, it's there. It might take a day, it might take an hour, a day, a week, 3 months, a year, but they come.
Yeah.
And it's like you just have to trust.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing for me, is that you just have to trust and then not become too fixed on the how.
Yes. Oh my gosh. If you try to figure out how, how am I gonna, it ties your gut in knots, and then it just leaves you walking in circles, perplexed. What am I gonna do? How am I gonna do this? I had to learn to let all of that go. And don't get me wrong, we are so human in this existence still that it's like, ugh, we get caught up in that now because we think we need to, but we don't have to. We really
Yeah.
don't. And the reason, real quick, because I said I was going to explain and I had yet. When I say and I talk about it's humans, or humanness, or human that, I channel constantly. I am always. So I am here. I am Adrienne. I am Anney Lee. I am whatever you want to call me. But I am an open channel constantly. So when they come through and they're trying to get a point across, well, I'm trying to get a point across at the same time, it comes out as humans, not we, or, you know, it just happens. That's the way it is. That's just what happens now. Oh, it's interesting.
I love that you have that skill, you know.
Whew.
I've managed to keep my interactions with spirit almost. We have some pretty good office hours these days, so that they're not interrupting me all the days and nights, because it's a bit much. And I kind of like being able to stay in my bed and not find myself underneath my bed, because that's not fun.
Right? No, I've not found myself underneath the bed, but I've been outdoors. I've been out by the tree. I have found. Okay, there's times that it's like because I am like a communication center, right? There's this whole control panel. It's like being plugged in one ringy dingy, two ringy dingies. You know, this whole telephone board, this switchboard system. And there's times I'm like, you guys, look, I love you, and I am so grateful for everything you're bringing through, but I am shutting down communications for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
I need some quiet. My ears are going to bleed if I have to listen to any more of this right now. I physically, in my 3Dness, cannot take this. And the work that I put into, like, to expand my energy body to where, or bodies, because we have 12 energy bodies. So as I'm expanding through these pillars to get wider and wider, so things don't hurt like they did, you know, trying to figure out what to do with all of you, because they're so big, some of these energies.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you even process this? Well, you breathe and let it flow. That's the only thing you can do. So as I've opened up and widened to these energy bodies, it is so much easier now for all of this interaction. But there's still time that it's just too much. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's like, oh, forget about it. So I shut things down for a little while, because I totally understand that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I have, my rule is that if I'm resting, no matter what that looks like, no matter what time of day it is, they are not allowed. You can come and you can talk to me when I'm awake and active. You can, you know, I don't care if you come through to me when I'm driving or cooking the dinner or anything like that. But if I'm resting, even if it's just lying down for an afternoon nanny nap, you are not allowed in my space.
Right on.
And it was just like, that was the easiest way I could manage it, because otherwise, if I said, oh, you're not allowed to come to me between the hours of 10 and 6 in the morning, you can guarantee that they will be on my door at 6 o'clock in the fucking morning going, duck, 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 duck. It's like, no. What if I want to sleep in that day? You know?
Yeah, okay. Right? Oh my gosh. So, I had a question. I don't know. It was something about a healing bed, but now I don't know what I was going to ask you specifically about it. So never mind.
It'll come back.
When the question comes back, I'll ask you about it.
Yeah.
Oh my
gosh. To round up, so obviously we saw in the intro there that you have art. You do art. And we know that we can buy your book not only on Kindle, but it's actually there. You can get it in the hard copy as well, I think.
Paperback and hardback both.
Yeah. And so can people commission you to do work for them?
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
What kind of artwork do you do? Because I actually don't have any of that.
Okay. So it's, gosh, painting, I do most. Acrylics is my favorite medium to work with. Mixed media is not a stranger to me, different,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's watercolor or acrylics or inks or, however it goes. Um, yeah, after photography, I picked up a paintbrush and it just kind of, yay, there it was. And it is a way to express sometimes what words just aren't capable of.
Mm.
And it really is, it's a blessing. Oh my gosh, to be able to mush the paint and get it just however it wants to be, Oh my gosh, like just thinking about it, I want to go smush and paint. Ooh, ooh, it is so fun. Um, yeah, oh my gosh, it is such a treat to be able to just, and they just come together sometimes. So fun, just so easy. Like, oh my gosh, yes, you can commission pieces if you'd like. It would depend on what it is price wise. I don't charge a whole lot for my pieces. I think it should be affordable for everyone, or it
Mm.
should be. I am not a huge fan of dinosaur reproduction. That stuff that just looks like somebody cried on paper and put it in a frame and said, "Here you go," for the masses. I'm not a huge fan of that. I think that everybody needs some sort of unique art in their home, and I think it should be affordable for them, not like
Yeah.
$60,000 for one little. That's ridiculous to me. I mean, what? Spray a dot of red on a piece of toilet paper and sell it for $6,200 and say, "Here you go." That's art. I don't understand why people do that shit. But anyway, that's just personal opinion. It does not matter at this point. Oh my gosh. But art, it is an outlet. It is an outlet
Yeah.
where words can fail us at times. And that's where writing comes into play. And dancing. Dancing is a must all the time. Music will move my soul, and then it just moves the old meat sack, and there we go. We are just a little
Mm-hmm.
ballerina, just dancing around like we have no sense. It is so much fun.
I totally get it.
Oh, I love it. That's where my face self comes in. My little fairy me is just like wee 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 wee.
Mm-hmm.
My elf self comes in and goes, "Look, are you about done with that? Because we got stuff to do." "No, I'm playing right now. Thank you." Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
totally get it.
Oh my gosh.
We've got
Go ahead.
so
Sorry.
many stories. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Anyway, can you feel them? They're just like I'm having to.
yes, because I feel like I have pulled my tongue back in my throat and had to like shove it clear down in my gut. Like I don't know how many times because I think, oh yeah, and oh yeah, and then that one time, and then this another time, and then hey, then this another time, and then this, and hey, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh my
All right.
gosh.
So here's our last tasty question of the evening. If you could sit next to any person, and they can be alive or dead in spirit realm, on a park bench for the afternoon, and the weather was absolutely perfect. There was no buggy things biting you, and you had just the right amount of breeze and just the right amount of shade, and just kind of like even out in the forest, like is our backdrop today. Who would it be and
Wow.
why?
Well, I would want someone living because I talk to dead people all the time. So I don't know, other than a handful that I can think of right off the bat. My biggest one. You would be another one. I don't. There aren't too many folks that I find like, ooh, that I would really want to speak to now. Is that bad? I don't think it's bad.
Mhm.
Different. Bad. I don't know, actually, but I would want it to be a living somebody. But I just don't know who. All kinds of folks, I think. Maybe you.
Cool.
Maybe.
So Vicky
I
and
don't
me,
know.
there we go. That's
Look,
some good choices.
I've been wishy-washy on that whole answer. Did you hear what just came out of my face hole? Did you hear that crap? I don't want to talk to anybody, not at all, but I think I want to talk to a handful of people. What?
I think that was the perfect answer for you.
Because as much as I love people, I really do. I enjoy them. I adore folks. But I really don't want anything to do with people at the same time. Does that make sense? Isn't that horrible? But it's so
No.
true. I
When
like
we
humans in small doses anymore. I really do.
Yes. I get it.
I'm grateful for the work I get to do. I am grateful that I am in a position and I have the gifts. I've been given the gifts to be of service, to be of help to folks. You know what I mean? Just on the other side of that coin, we get the other side of that too. So
Yeah.
that
I
okay.
really fully relish my quiet time.
Yes.
100%.
I am a huge fan of silence.
Yeah.
And I never used to be. I needed something all the time, and the quiet and the stillness at times is a saving grace when nothing else works.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree. And it's like,
Yes.
These days, there's tends to be a certain level of noise in my home often. And so when it's not there and I just got everything turned off and it's just like, oh,
Yes.
even if I can hear the neighbors and the cars down the street or whatever, within the home, if it's just quiet, is so lovely. And it's just like my whole body just breathes a sigh of relief,
Yes, absolutely. Don't get me wrong. I love music and it is on constantly. I've got headphones on. There's something it is, but I do relish those times when it's like, turn the headphones off and just sit and just in that quiet, that stillness for just that little bit. It is absolutely beautiful. Oh my gosh, it is delicious, is what it is.
Yes, I agree. And first thing in the morning is my absolute favorite time. It's just so lovely to see. Like if you get a chance to look at a beautiful garden or something first thing in the morning, and it's like you get to see all the little birds and the bugs and the spider webs and the light glinting off them, and it's like you can see the poetry that is happening, the conversations, the energy flowing between all of the elements, and it's just like, oh, so gorgeous.
Dewdrops on a spider web are the most sparkly, beauteous things ever. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely.
Watching the sun just get the light just right. It looks like sparkly little things. Oh,
100%.
It's so pretty.
Yes.
Oh, jeez. Oh, yes. Oh my goodness. So much goodness.
And in the chat, Judy has said that she's the same. Like she just really, she loves people, but also loves the not too much of people.
The thing we are so dynamic as humans that we need to embrace all of our parts and pieces, and that means that we may feel like a walking contradiction because humans are walking contradiction. Being okay with that, I'm not saying contradict everything that you do or say. That's not my intent. That's not what I mean at all. It's just, in this instance, because it feels like it is contradictory. I like this, but I also like this. Well, yes, because we do like both, or maybe one is or the other, whatever. But being able to embrace all of that and say, oh, this is me as a whole. I'm not wrong if I want it this way or if I want it this way. We are that way, and we should embrace those things. So,
Yeah.
as much as we need to be open, we also need to embrace all that is us, integrating everything that we are, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the what the fuck. I mean, because I'm not joking. There are some really what, okay, that we have to come to terms with. And it's not, I've noticed this collectively. It's not, this isn't just me. We all have to integrate some really, damn. I was just told to shut up, so I'm shutting up. Right now I got my mouth shut and like I heard, shut up. Okay. That's I'm gonna shush.
That's obviously a story for another episode.
Yeah, it must be, because they put the kibosh on it right now. Like my mouth went, like it was not going to open if I kept going. They weren't going to allow it. That's hilarious.
That's so funny.
Oh,
I love it. I love it.
There is nothing like having spirit shut your mouth. I'm telling you what. I mean, like shut this way. Or I've actually felt this over I have felt a hand over my mouth, like, girl, you better shut your mouth right now. Okay, I'm hushing. Yeah. I'm hushing right now.
Oh yeah,
like I've been scolded. It's like, oh, okay. I will.
It's like, thank you, team. I appreciate you.
Oh, daggone, the whole squad.
Yeah.
They came to say, okay, I'm done. So, how long do you usually run this thing? And have we run overtime?
Yeah, just slightly, but it's slightly flexy. But I was just about to wind it up, which is what your team knew. So there we go.
I guess.
Anywho, so all of Annie's social media links and things are in the show notes. So if you wish to contact Anney for a art commission, or if you wish to come through and in the YouTube side of things, you'll see it there. It's much easier to grab a hold of than in the Facebook side, but there'll be the links there for her book of Anney Lee and Adventures with Grace Gnu, if I think it's something like that.
Yep.
And so yeah, you can grab your copy and support this absolutely gorgeous, amazing lady, and just know that she is feeling intense gratitude for you now and into the future.
Yeah.
So thank you everybody for coming to play. Thank you for joining us. Next week on Tasty Tuesdays, I have Melissa Wilkes, who's over in Perth, if I remember rightly, and she is a energetic healer and a coach, and she does all sorts of interesting, sweet stuff. So I'm looking forward to having her on next week.
Oh, I can't wait to see.
Of course, on Friday, I'll be back for Find You Fridays, the intuitive reading show at 8 p.m. Adelaide time. So until next time, beautiful people, be bold, be brave, be you, my beautiful ones. Thank you so much, Anney Lee, for coming to join us today. And thank you for getting up so crazy early in the morning just so that you could come and chat with us. I'm so grateful for you.
Thank you.
And as Anney said throughout the show, be open to possibilities. Get out there, do something tasty for yourself. Yeah. Don't care what it is. But just go and do it. All right?
That's right.
Until next time. Bye-bye, everybody.